und herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Video auf meinem Kanal. Ich bin's wie immer, euer Tristan, und ihr seht, ja, ich bin hier in einem anderen in anderen Gegebenheiten, denn ich bin zu Besuch bei dem guten Tom von Treshold Tactics und wir machen heute mal ein Interview und einen kleinen Behind-the-Scenes-Look von seinem Studio. Und Tom, nice to have me here and thank you very much. And of course now we are switching to English. Because of course you speak English, right?
Yes, I can understand German, but I cannot speak it.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. And as I already told you in the introduction from my tournament vlog, I want to start now a little bit of English content so the international guys and friends can follow me as well. So, first of all, Tom, who you are and why I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're here for three reasons, actually. Obviously, for people that don't know, I am a tournament organizer.
Tournament organizer.
And I'm a tournament organizer, and I also host, a couple times a year, I host an invitational GT, where I don't actually put out tickets for sale. I invite people to come and play. Mm-hmm. That way, I can kind of govern to see who is coming, because they're pretty competitive events. They're sportsmanlike, but still competitive. And I want like-minded people at that event, because if you just play at your local club sometimes and you accidentally buy a ticket to that event and then you go 0-5 and you're like, oh, what just happened? Yeah. You might get discouraged from playing, right? Mm-hmm. So I have 20 very competitive people in one event, and I've invited you for the one we're going to have tomorrow and Sunday. So for the people watching, this is recorded the day before.
Yes.
And then also you wanted to do an interview and I wanted to do a battle report. So after this interview, we're also recording a battle report together. So three very good reasons to have this talk.
Yes, sir. And Tom, as we are here in your studios, you guys just always see the board because you mainly do battle reports, yep. Right? But it's bigger than you think. And when I'm looking behind the camera, I see a lot of armies. And maybe I think we should start with the topic Treshold Tactics, because sure. Now we are here. So Tom, when was the first day of the idea of doing YouTube and doing Treshold Tactics? Because I think I know you as a tournament organizer like two or 3 years now, and YouTube maybe now 1 year, but I know it because of myself. There's one day when it's coming to your mind, I want to do it, but I don't know how, and then you get closer to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had the same thing. We started out thinking that we maybe wanted to do tournament live streaming. Mm-hmm. So our first idea was actually, so a couple steps back, obviously in the community you meet a lot of people. And I had already met Kai, the guy who does our painting, and he's sitting behind the camera right now.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Kai. And I've met him at one of my first GTs ever. It was a doubles GT, and I played Kai, and that's how I got to know him. And then I got to know Nick because he came to the tournaments I hosted. Mm-hmm. And then he had a friend, Ryan, who also came to the tournaments I hosted. And we kind of grew as like a group of friends and buddies. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, I wanted to start doing some battle reports or live commentating. And Nick had the same idea, but we never talked about it.
Okay, okay.
So at some point, I was talking to Ryan, our fourth buddy. And I was like, hey, Ryan, I wanted to do some battle reports and stuff, because he has a channel called Strategoy as well. So I was asking him, like, how do you start it, and blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, oh, that's interesting, because Nick just told me the same idea. Yeah, so that was funny. So I hooked up with Nick, and first we had to discuss like what we really wanted to do. Do we want to do like live tournament reports, or do we want to do battle reports? And we settled on the battle reports, because I think the tournament reports are also very cool. But you have to pack up all the gear, go somewhere. You have to find all the big tournaments. You have to go there. It costs a lot of money, because for people that don't know, TOs normally don't put a lot of profit margin on an event. Yeah. So they cannot really pay us to go and commentate, even though it might benefit them, because they didn't budget it in.
I think it's pretty temporary, right? Yes. Because maybe there's a tournament like in the 1st of July, then it's interesting maybe for 2 or 3 weeks, and then the people will not watch it again. And a battle report where you do some competitive battle reports as well. They are always interesting in the season. So you can look back battle report 3 months ago. Okay, there they played Lumines, and Lumines is my main army, so I will watch this video.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So we settled on doing the battle reports because Nick also had the wish to learn how to edit, because none of us had any experience with editing, filming, or whatever. Well, Kai a little bit maybe, but
same with me. Same with me.
Yeah. So I come. My normal day job is in AV, so audiovisual solutions, but it's more like video conferencing. So I know a little bit about cameras and microphones, like the ones we're wearing right now, but I didn't know a lot about like actual like live filming. That's completely different stuff. So we just first we started with a phone, but we kind of promised ourselves that we wouldn't actually put anything out until we were 100% happy with how it looked.
Yeah.
So because sometimes you will see a battle report channel start and they will have like a hand camera or their phone, which is fine, but it's not really what we wanted to do.
I know, and that is for example, I have to interrupt you here, why I don't do battle reports, because I'm the same. Because when you're watching as a guy battle reports at YouTube and you're searching for it, then you always have the problem. Okay, I don't like the tone. I don't like the vision, and there I don't like the players because they are maybe not good enough. So why should I watch it? I can do it better by myself. So there are a lot of things which are pretty hard, and of course it's always 3 hours normally.
Yeah.
If you don't crush your opponent, and then voiceovers and stuff like that, and then you have like channels like Season of War and stuff like that, who already do it pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then you are like, okay, I don't have the camera, check. I don't have microphones, check. Okay, I will not do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't have a wife with a great voice that can do all the voiceovers. Yeah. No, yeah, shout out to Season of War, because he was the inspiration for like the quality we wanted to put down. I think everyone, at least the people in my community, we all grew up watching what's it called, mini wargaming.
Oh yeah.
And they still have the hand cameras and stuff, and that was super fun to watch. But when you become better at the game, you know they sometimes make some rules mistakes. They play more fun casual lists. Yeah. And I think if you want to have a big audience, that's the best thing to do, because there's more people interested in just casual fun content than there are in competitive content. Yeah. But we thought there's not a lot of really competitive channels. So let's focus on that a little bit. But like I said, we didn't want to have like a format where we're super happy with before you put out the first battle report. And that was, I always have like this saying that you can only make a first impression once, right? So
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so the first one everyone has to be, oh shit, I want to follow these guys, right? Yeah. And if the first one is with a hand cam, and people don't like it, when the second one comes out, they'll just be like, oh, that's the handcam guys. Yeah. We don't want that. Right? I don't want to watch that. I don't need to watch that. And so I think it's fun to see the progression in the channel, but that's not what we wanted to do. We did the progression behind the scenes. Yeah. So we first had a table like this, and then we didn't have the black wall, we didn't have a logo, no lights, and we just put a camera, like a phone camera, above a table. And started filming and started editing, and then we were like, okay, the editing works, we like the format, but yeah, the camera quality is not good enough. So we bought our first camera, and then we started toying with that, and then we thought, shit, we need a better background, and then everything snowballed, and now we're a lot of euros in. And we have a cool
I
studio.
think that is a big point, because a lot of people can't imagine how much personal money you put into stuff like that, which of course is more like a hobby, and you want to do it for guys which you know. Of course you know a lot of international guys, because you were hosting Worlds 2 times. We will come to that point later. And if you just have to say one number now, quick, what do you think?
What we spend?
Yeah, just one quick.
Is that with or without armies that we already had?
Just do everything. What
5K?
5K, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So personal
and that's
money,
without the
5K,
time.
yeah, without the time. Yeah. You don't get paid for it.
Yeah, because you go to the shop, you're like, camera, 900 euros. Yeah. Well, with the lens then, but and then now we want the second camera. That's another 900 euros. You want the microphones, they're I think 800 euros a piece, etc. So it starts to. I mean, you could also start with microphones that are 200 euros a piece.
Yeah, of course.
Because of my AV background, I was able to get some of the stuff for. We have high quality mics, and we didn't pay the shop price for it. So that's also a reason.
And you want to do it once and then right and not again and again.
Exactly.
That's why people, if you're watching other videos of my YouTube stuff, I just have a mobile phone, so no micros. But yeah, that's the thing. If you can afford it to spend money, of course, then I would do the same, but it's always a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy, and if you like this environment, maybe I have to come here a little bit more often now for interviews and stuff like
Always
that.
Always welcome.
Yeah. But Tom, then it was in your mind, you talked to your friends and said, oh yeah, we want to do the same. Now it's not like you're playing in your living room, you have an own studio. So how was the way to this place?
Yeah, so like we said, Kai is our painter in the channel, and he also plays sometimes, but he does a lot of work behind the scenes, a lot of important work actually.
It's always the important guys behind the camera.
Definitely. Yeah. And he had a commission painting studio that he stopped with, but it was Stampa Studio.
Yeah, we see some of his
work is here on the table. Yeah, some of my and Nick's work, but most of it is Kai's work. And he had this studio already because he used it to paint. And for the people that don't know, there's a couple of rooms behind here where we have other creative people sitting. And this space was still vacant, so they were not using it. So we were like, hey, can we, try to set something up? And if it starts rolling, we will help with the rent and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how we kind of got here. So we were lucky that Kai already had an office here. But it's a big space. It's like I think it's like 10 meters by 5 meters total.
Yeah,
we're not using
it's
all
really
of it.
big. It's really big.
Yeah, we're not using all of it, but it's super blessed to have the opportunity to start up here without paying rent. And now that we start up a little bit, we make just enough money to pay the rent.
Yeah,
and that's fine because now it's self-sustaining. We don't have to put our own money in, except for the models then. But yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. The luck, basically.
Yeah, luck, connections, and stuff like that. Yeah. So and now I know this could be a maybe difficult question, but I want you to answer it on the fly.
Sure.
Yeah. How much battle reports are already on the channel?
Right now?
Yeah.
Ooh, I would say maybe like 12.
12?
I think. Yeah, we do one every other week. And then we have a couple live, so maybe it's a little bit more, but I'm not super sure.
I think it's a little bit more than 12.
Yeah.
But if you know it, then write it into the comments. But I'm not sure about it as well. But 12? Okay.
Yeah, the problem with Battle Report channels as well is we've recorded way more, but then you make a recording and then one of the mics wasn't on.
Oh yeah.
The camera wasn't focused. Stuff like that also happens.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's why we saw before we started, we checked the mics and stuff like that. You don't have the problems.
Learned.
Yeah, you learn. But that's the thing, right? If you do it more professional with more technical stuff, you have to, how can I say it? Du musst mehr kontrollieren.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think like when you start off, you use the hand cam. It doesn't really matter. The camera's working, the mic is working because your phone is on. But now we have so many different separate pieces of equipment. They all need to work good to get the battle report we need. So we need to double check the camera. We need to double check the microphones. We need to double check we have a feedback screen here so we can watch ourselves back. All of those things have to work because if not, then during editing you're going to hate yourself.
Yeah, of course. That was a big point why I did a break for myself, like for 4 months now, because I was not happy anymore with the quality of my videos, but I spent so much time into them. And one break off was the Raccoon Rumble, which maybe some of you guys know. It's like 200 AOS and 240k people are playing at 3 days at a weekend, and I spent I think 5 or 6 hours cutting voiceover and putting stuff in it, and then I just could get the quality of I think 480 p. What is it? P? Yeah. And then I couldn't change it anymore, so I uploaded it, and I was so unhappy. The video at itself was pretty nice, I think, but the quality, the build quality was not so nice, and then I was like
demotivated.
Yes. And a lot of people said, Tristan, buy a new a mobile phone or a camera and stuff like that. But I'm in German we call it der Schwabe. Yeah, I don't like to spend money so much because I spend, of course, a lot of money for tournaments, models and stuff like that.
It's an expensive hobby.
And yeah, of course, if you have a motorcycle or stuff like that, you pay 6,000 euro for the bike and then for sprit and stuff like that. But models, paints, and then hotel costs and stuff like that, they are pretty expensive as well, right?
Definitely, yeah. Like the hobby is expensive if you just buy and paint models. Then if you want to play tournaments, you get the hotel, you get the gas, you get food, etc.
Then maybe the one or the other drink at night, right?
Yeah. No, never.
Never. I remember the Long Island, baby.
Yes,
oh.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, it starts to add up, and all of us have a pretty like me and Nick have a very decent job, and so the arrangement we kind of have is that me and Nick do much of the investing, and Kai invests a lot of time because he also paints. So, for people who don't know, Kai paints most of the armies and models we have. And then Nick, we just throw money at it until we're happy. And then right now we're at a point where we need maybe at some point a couple more armies. But everything is pretty much set up. And we will improve some tiny things, maybe add a camera at some point, but we're pretty happy where we are. We have a decent foundation to build on.
Of course, it's pretty nice. And I think it's nice as well that you see, or we see different people at your channel. And of course, often it's yourself, but the people there, they are playing, what I like, competitive lists. So. I think that's the big point which you mentioned at the beginning, and so it's interesting. But yes, this is Treshold Tactics, but a lot of people from the competitive scene and the German competitive scene maybe know you from another big point, and that was the last 2 years you were hosting Worlds, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And Tom, how? Maybe if I'm thinking I want to host Worlds in Germany, so how can you achieve such a big goal?
Well, I think the most important part about Worlds is the location, and I don't mean the country, but like the actual venue, where it needs to be accessible, it needs to be big enough, and you need to really, for the people that are watching that don't know, every year, traditionally, Worlds is in a different country every year. So like the Olympics, kind of. Every year in the summer, TOs from various countries, together with the captain from that country, can make a bid, basically. And the captains that will play in the tournament will then vote to what bid they like the most. The last 2 years, the Netherlands won the bid, so we won the bid. And then this year it will be in Austria. Austria won the bid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun as well. But Austria as well, they have they have access to a big location. That's super important, and we had access to a big location that was also next to the airport.
That was, I think, it's pretty hard for every other country to beat that because, guys, it was so good because the airport, I think, is 10 minutes away from the hotel. Then you have a big.
The venue is the hotel.
Yeah, the venue is the hotel. Every team from every country, I think. Last year we were 28 teams.
26 or 28?
Or 26, 28 teams. So over 500 people were there from 28 or 26 different countries. And you had a meeting point at the bar or stuff like that. And that is, I think, pretty important for such a great and big event that the other countries now have to handle a little bit, because if you don't have a meeting point at the evening, maybe the spirit can be a little bit
you will stay in your team bubble.
Yeah, right. And
which is fun, but different. Like you go to Worlds, I hosted Worlds, and you go to Worlds to interact with the people. Like we met through like an international tournament, and so we've both made friends from various teams from different international tournaments. But most of them, for me, are from Worlds.
Yeah, for me as well. Yeah.
And if you didn't have, like, if you play. For me, it's different because I TO, so I walk around to the venue all day.
And everybody loves you, right? Because you.
I don't know though about that. But,
maybe not when you're judging, but at hosting, everybody is happy because of you and your team. We are there, right?
We put in a lot of time to try and make things perfect, and we don't get it perfect, but everyone sees the effort we put in, and they tell us. And I had very experienced players walk up, and they just said, "Well, this is the best run event we've ever been to," and that's like the best compliment you can ever have as a TO. But for me, I love playing the game. I've been playing for 4 or 5 years, so not super long. But I love playing the game as well. But when you are hosting and reffing the tournament and you're walking around, you can really interact with everyone.
Yeah.
And if you're playing at Worlds and you, let's say, don't have a meeting point in the evening, you have 2 or 3 games for a GT or at Worlds. You have 2 or 3 games. You're locked in. You have maybe a little bit time between rounds to walk up to a buddy and say, "Hey, how did your game go?" And then, "Oh yeah, I had this and this. Okay, great. Well, next game."
Yeah.
And same for the day after, and then you're super tired and you just want to go home, and you don't get the social aspect. So at Worlds, the great thing is you only play 2 games a day.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, for example, you see the GTs, people clock out the last round because playing 3 rounds on a Saturday can be very taxing for the mind.
Pretty exhausting. Yeah.
Yeah. So playing 2 games, they are 4 hours, so you don't have to rush. And then you get to go to the bar in the evening. I'm going to talk about Amsterdam because we haven't been to Austria yet, so I don't. Have you been to the location?
No,
no. Okay, so we have no experience for that one yet.
Just Amsterdam for me as well.
Yeah, in Amsterdam we had the bar next to the playing hall, and we had the bar downstairs.
Yeah.
So you could literally have a great week there and not leave the hotel.
Yeah. For example, guys, you're at your hotel room. Then it's 8 o'clock. You go under the shower. Then 9 o'clock breakfast. Maybe some hours earlier, and then you see the guy, maybe Dayton, for example, he's coming in 9 o'clock in the morning with a big beer and saying, "Cheers, brother." And you're thinking, "Oh, okay, now it's teams, I can't do it anymore." But at the singles event, of course, that was possible. And what you said, for example, the German team did it like that. We always, after the last round, we went to our rooms, take a shower, then had dinner. And after that, we had a team meeting, like 1.5 hours for the preparation for the next day. And then it was like, now you can do what you want. And then for me, of course, because I'm a pretty extroverted person, then I talk to you guys, the Netherlands guys, French, I can't say every country, but Australia, where I got to know Russell Crowe this last year. It was awesome. And the guys from Wales, Owen Jackson, Mesmello. For example, Mesmello now and I are sharing the hotel room for this weekend. So it's awesome. And it's so cool when you then meet maybe just once or twice a year, but it's like you met the day before and you talk to a good old friend.
Yeah, definitely. That's also there's also a World Championship in Atlanta, right, that you know?
Oh yeah.
That's the same there, right? And that's even more there maybe because you're still in the team bubble, like you said. After the games you have like the team dinner and you have the team discussion. And in Atlanta you finish your game and there's no team to go to.
Yeah.
So you just find the people that are like having a great time and you join them. So that's just the best thing about the hobby for me. And I experience that part better or more, maybe more is the better word, as a TO than I do as a player. I still like to play. I like to play competitively. But yeah, the TOing has been just a great social party for me, basically. And that's what keeps it going. Because, trust me, you're not doing it for the money.
Yeah, I believe you, yeah. It's so much work that you put in, which nobody sees, of course. It's like a YouTube channel as well. You put so much work, time in it, and nobody sees it. They see 1 hour or 30 minutes video and you spend like 3 work days or
and editing a video is between 10 and 14 hours for Nick. So people have to understand that we go here. Normally a game is 3 hours, but we play for like 4 or 4.5 because we have to make sure we say everything clearly. Sometimes we have to retake some of those shots.
Camera angles.
Like we double check everything. So you're here for 4.5 hours and then it's not like it's done. Then it starts, the work starts. Then you have to edit and then, so it's a lot of work. And that's the same for a tournament. People go to a tournament and they think, oh, I had a fun weekend, I'm going home. But they don't see the fact that a TO has gathered, like Worlds was 208 players. I think it was 2016, 208 players. That's 104 tables of terrain that need to be painted. 104 mats that need to be bought.
what happens if a team is sick, like Team UN, that you have a team who can sub in.
Exactly.
And
all those
like
things
that.
you have to take into account, and it's just a lot of work. And I think TOs in general, that also goes for me, should probably ask more money for the tournaments they host. But it's already also an expensive hobby, and you really don't want to price maybe some of your locals that don't maybe have a big budget. You don't want to price them out of going to a tournament. So that's always the balance that you have to keep.
In Germany, we right now we have a discussion about stuff like that, like what or how much money is worth a tournament. And I always say I don't care what they do with the money. If I think the price which I pay is worth it, I don't care if they get, for example, they price it like with $100 and they don't have any cost and they put $80 in their pocket. It's fine for me if I think I had a great weekend for these $100. But I think there is a small line if it's like you do it for maybe earning money with it, because you see maybe the terrain is not nice or stuff like that, or you see, okay, the people are really putting
a lot of effort. Is it passion or is it greed?
Yeah. Perfect.
You will see that in a tournament. I think if it's passion or if it's greed. And I personally haven't. I don't think I've been to an event where I had the feeling that it was greed. I always think it's passion, or I think I like to think it's passion. But yeah, there a lot of work goes in, and I think people underestimate it a lot. To be honest, because I've had discussions where people, our tournament in Amsterdam right now, we have a GT next month, as you know. Big one, 120 AOS and about 40k players, so 200 people total, and the ticket is 115 euros. It's a lot of money, but in my opinion, is it expensive for what you get? It's an insane lunch on both days. You've eaten there. You can
really good.
There's
food,
sushi, there's pizza, there's fries,
shrimp, steak, and
you can get everything. And 2 games, like if you go out with the weekend and you want to have fun, if you can find me a place where you can spend 2 days, have two meals, and you have entertainment for, I think together maybe 15, 16 hours, and you're paying 115 euros, let me know. Because I want to go.
That's a good point.
Because I want to go there. And then also I have the discussion with people sometimes where they're like, I'm not sure if I can afford it. And then that's fair, because like nobody has the same budget. But also sometimes when you sit at your hobby desk, turn around, look at the amount of gray plastic you
have a car.
Yeah, but also look in the gray plastic you have in your closet. How much money is sitting there, right? You know, you have to. Of course, it's a lot of money. You have to budget it in. That's what we all do. That's what we did with the expenses for the studio. That's what we did with buying the mats. You have to budget stuff in to get it out. But also, if you don't have a big budget and you cannot afford it, that's totally fair, because it's a lot of money. 115 euros is a lot of money.
Of course.
And then there's also tournament organizers that do a weekend. Maybe they don't do lunch, and you can go there for 35 or 40. Perfect. You know, those events need to exist. I do them as well, but just not in Amsterdam, because the venue is way too expensive for that.
And it was so awesome. The last time when we were there at the team event, I think it was it September also? We were there. I was in the different tract of the hotel, right? And they have other rooms there. And they have like a whirlpool, like a whirlpool in the bathroom. And I was like, it was at Friday evening, just to talk to you guys. We drink a little bit, some cocktails there, and it was I was in a good mood. And then I went to my hotel room because my roommate, he just wanted to stay a little bit longer, but I had to work at Friday and I was a little bit tired, and it was like 10 o'clock in the evening. And then I was watching into the bathroom and I said, oh, there is like a whirlpool. And then I was going in there with my iPad watching film. That was pretty nice. They have a swimming pool there, right? Fitness, sauna. Like
you can let people know that you can actually book a massage.
Crazy.
So it is a premium location, so that's why the premium price is there. But like, to be completely transparent, in March, for example, we have 200 players. And I think and then it's 4 people working with all the prep. I think if we have 800 euros of margin, we'd be happy.
Oh that's
and the venue costs about 25,000 euros to book.
And I think it's a pretty interesting point. Do you booked the location before, right? Before you got every money. So guys, if you have 20,000 bucks, then you can do it like that. No, this is a crazy point. The risk that you have as a host of a tournament is pretty high as well.
Yes.
Maybe not pretty high when you're a good host, so
it's still like,
but it's
we need to have at least 128 or 130ish players to even get close to breaking even for some of the locations we use, and that's still a lot of players.
Of course, yeah.
So you still need to book it, and then one of the venue will probably give you a date, and if you don't cancel before that date, you have to pay let's say 25%. So if 100 people buy a ticket and it's 20 people that don't buy a ticket, and you lose 20 times the ticket fee on the margin.
Yeah, like it's over 2,000 euros.
You can say, oh, you just cancel the event. That's great, but then you have to pay all the people back. But you still have to pay the 25% of the venue. Yeah. So it is always a risk. So if you want to go to a tournament, that's just me asking you guys. But if you want to go to a tournament, don't wait last minute. And you already know you want to go and you have the money in the bank, don't buy the ticket last minute.
Yeah, and not just because of the money, but in Germany it's like that. The people are watching, who signed in for the tournament. Oh, there are just 10 people or 40. Yeah, no, then I will skip it. But when 20 people like that, thinking like that, oh, I will wait, yeah, then it's shit. So just if you want to go there, you have free time, you talk to your wife or something like that.
You got the green card.
Yeah, you got the green card, then sign in or sign up and go to the tournament and have fun.
Yeah, that makes the TOs work a lot easier. But everyone has different lives, so it's not always, you don't always know very far in advance if you can go. So it's understandable.
True. So final question for this topic. What was the best part of hosting 2 times in a row the Worlds? I know you have a Team Germany jersey from last year, so I probably know the answer. Best dressed, right? No, just kidding. And what was the worst part? So, because I really like to talk about both things, because not always is everything fine. So
no, it's not always rainbows and sunshines.
Yeah.
So I think let's start with the worst part and then on the good note.
Yeah, that's a good part.
So I think the worst part is the first year. So for people watching, AOS Worlds is a international team event where a team from every country joins to battle it out to see who's the best Warhammer nation, and it's Denmark apparently the last 2 years. So
sadly, they crashed us.
So Denmark is the answer. So I also told Rune last week that if they win it again next year, because I think 5 or 6 players quit. If they win it again, if they win it again next year, I'm just going to stop organizing. We're just going to say we've solved the question. It's Denmark.
So Team French, Belgium, Poland, always good teams.
Yes,
do it.
Definitely. Yeah. This is the time to win. I think this is the
England. Sorry, of course.
England as well. Yeah, but they've won it before.
Yeah,
they know how it is. But those captains also can be part of a AOS Worlds Council, and the council is kind of helps the TO to organize, communicate, etc.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the captains, they have busy lives. And the first year I was hosting in Amsterdam, we had a couple people join the council, but we didn't have a full council. So a lot of the extra work just was assumed that it was also done by the TO. And I'm not just a tournament organizer. I'm the head referee for AOS Worlds, which is a separate thing. I'm always the head referee, also now in Austria, but I'm not always the organizer, because that's the guy who won the bid, or the girl who won the bid. So the first year I was both, and it was much more work than I had anticipated. So I put in so much private time that it almost burned me out. So that was the low part. The second year was better because I learned a lot and I could copy paste.
You were more in a flow and
the first year we're talking about risk. I joined Worlds as a ref the year before in Prague, like 6 weeks before the event, because they were short of refs. And I had only ref like 2 events myself before I joined it.
And then at Worlds, where all the sweat guys are.
Exactly,
they are not easy questions which are coming. They're only special stuff.
Yeah, luckily when I go into something like the hobby like this, I dive in super deep, so I knew a lot of stuff. But I didn't know, like my bid won, but they still have to buy the team tickets. They still have to buy the singles ticket.
Oh.
And, you know, like I said, the location is like 25K, but that's for the weekend. Worlds is 5 days.
Oh, yes.
So we forwarded like 48,000 euros to book the venue. And then we had to hope that people buy tickets.
Yeah.
And they did, luckily. So, but those two things, they got me sweating, man.
Yeah, I believe sometimes you're lying in your bed in the evening, right, thinking about, oh, baby.
Yeah. And back then we were part of Alliance Open, which is a different tournament organization. But we merged into Threshold Tactics because a couple of the guys, the 40K team, they've been doing it for a lot more years than I have, and they were just done with it. They wanted to stop organizing. It was too much work. But then it was Alliance Open, so yeah, I had to first convince the 40K guys, hey, let's do AOS Worlds bits. I know you don't do AOS events, you guys, but I'm sure we can. Yeah,
we can do it, guys. We can do it.
But now we have to 48K guys, so so you can understand that. That was difficult. But in the end, once that first round starts, if you're talking about the best thing, I do the opening speech, and then everyone starts the first round, and then for me, I just get an insane high, where everyone is playing, everything all the work you've done in the months, the year before comes together, and now everyone's playing, and then people come back from the lunch, and like I have like Jack Armstrong from Team England coming up, and he's like, there was sushi at lunch. I'm like, I know, right? So seeing everyone play and having a great fucking time, that's the high, and that's why I also wanted to do the second bid, because people came up to me and said, hey, can you maybe bid again? Because this was so much fun. And I was like, well, we did all the investing in the terrain and the mats. Why not? Yeah. So we did it again, and then we won again, only by 1 vote.
Oh,
the second time, because some of the teams were like,
we had also, the location, and then,
we also want to go somewhere else. And you have to understand, like you and me, we're from Western European countries.
For us, it's nice.
Yeah, it's close, and our GDP from our country is pretty high, so we can afford the Netherlands. Because people have to understand the ticket was expensive. Yeah. The location is expensive. You have to fly there. The hotel. The hotel was not cheap either. The rooms, they're fantastic.
They're fantastic.
They're worth the money, but it's a lot of money again.
That's what I said, right? Yeah. At the beginning, it's worse, but not everybody can do it.
Right. So some of the countries, they just have a lower average income as well. So for them, it was an insane investment. They maybe have to convince their family to skip the holiday for the entire year to afford it, right? Some players. So that just weighed into me winning the bid only close. And then we got to do it again, and it was insane again. I think it was great. It's the perfect location, not like to toot my own horn, but it's just the perfect location.
You sleep there, you eat there, you play there,
we have
you
windows.
Drink there, windows. Oh yeah, this is a big point that you can't say often enough, because it is in summer. Yeah. So we had like 25 to 30 degrees outside. Yeah. But there, I sometimes wear a sweater because I'm a little bit frosty guy, and it was so good air conditioning and stuff like that, and you have free drinks, tea and stuff like that. It's so much stuff going on there, and that's pretty nice. And for me, now I'm happy that you're doing more team events beside Worlds, so we have the chance to get there more often. And of course, I can understand Worlds, a new place, then everything is new, and for people who are more than 1 year in the national team, it's more exciting, right? Because you have new places and see new stuff. But for us from Germany, for example, it's pretty nice that you have it so close. I drive 2.5 hours just, and Austria is more.
Probably,
more than twice. So
it's just super nice. And like you said, the people going there the second year, they knew what they were spending their money on. So what they were getting. So I think that helped a lot. That also helped us grow. But I think it was great. We had also captains come up and ask if we could do a bid for 5 years in a row after the second one. Yeah, and then I thought about it, but first I just cannot commit to 5 years of the work. Yeah. And secondly, I think the concept of Worlds is still that it travels around. Yeah. So I think conceptually this is the better way to do it. my normal events that I host are about 100 and 160 players in between. So I also downgraded a lot of the terrain that we bought for Worlds, sold it back to other TOs and stuff. So I don't think I will do it again. But like you said, we still use the venue. It was already my venue.
Never say never.
No, sure.
10th anniversary of Treshold Tactics. Then we have Worlds again.
First, possibly. Yeah, Nick from the channel, he really wants to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of work. And then that's when I didn't have the channel.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's pretty hard. But we are coming to our third and last topic, because you already mentioned you were a head judge, a head ref at events like that. But Tom is always or is not always, but the last 2 years, I think, you were the head ref at the GW Worlds in Atlanta, America. And yeah, how you get or how you get the job for the
I wasn't the head ref, just to be clear, just one of the referees, but no. But yeah, it's been an insane journey anyway. Like, I started playing 5 years ago, and then COVID hit, and there were no events. Yeah. And then I went to the Alliance Open guys, because they were already existing, and I said, hey,
I know them from 40K.
Yeah, I want to start up AOS events in the Netherlands. Can I maybe join you guys? We'll get some tables going, and we started with the first GT after COVID again. They already did a couple of AOS things, but nothing like big. Yeah. And then the first GT was 28 players. Then I did 2 one-dayers, and then some players had visited the event, and they told apparently other players that what we were doing, and I got a call from the Worlds people, like AOS Worlds, and they were like, hey, we're short a ref, and apparently you're doing an okay job. Do you want to join the ref team? And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure.
I can do it, yeah.
I can do it, yeah. It was in Prague. You know, the Worlds will cover the flights, etc. of the refs and the hotel, so it wouldn't cost me anything. I had to, you know, massage the wife, but yeah, we got it to work. And then I went there, and like I said, I only been hosting tournaments for like not even a year, because I started in summer, and Worlds is just before summer the year after. And then after that Worlds, the council asked me if I wanted to be the head ref, because one of the head ref actually quit right in front of Prague. That's why they asked me to join to reinforce the referee team. And Charlie kind of took over the head ref during Prague, but there was no real head referee. So I got the job. I got asked for the job the year after, and I was like, yeah, sure. And then I also did the bid, and I won. And a couple of the people that are affiliated with GW also play some of the teams, and they also know a lot of the teams. And kind of word got around. They visited the venue. They were impressed with what we did. Yeah. And I got a call from GW asking, hey, do you want to reinforce the Age of Sigmar team in Atlanta? Last year's first. And yeah, then you have to go to the wife and say, hey, so Worlds is 5 days. There's also 4 or 5 days in Atlanta. Well, and then my wife...
It's just America.
Yeah, it's in the US. I'll just pop over real quick. Yeah, but my wife has been a superstar that way, and she really let me do all those things. So that's fantastic.
Behind a big guy is always a bigger woman.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, so she let me, she facilitated me going there by, you know, taking care of the house, the kids, etc., keeping everything going. And then I went to Atlanta, and it was great. It was the GW ref rules team is there, and they kind of lead the ref team. And then me and some of the other, like Gareth, also AOS Worlds judge, he is also there. And you know, James, who has been the missionary for the Canadian team the past 2 years, he is also was also in Atlanta. So for me, it was just a lot of familiar faces.
I think that is always a good point as well when you are judging, right? Then the people recognize you, and of course, Tom is a really big guy, big T. What I said, he is a big guy. He knew the rules, of course, pretty good. And I think this is, and I think one big point of yourself is that you can handle every kind of person, you know, and I think this is a pretty important point, because it's not always about being right. No. It's about being how you present it to the guys. And sometimes I already got that in Luxembourg when there are team events. There are Belgium, French, and Czech Republic, and German, Netherlands as well. And sometimes you have different ruling in the different languages. Yeah. So there are some problems, and the players can't do anything against it if they only knew it and don't know the English wording, for example.
They never knew it was different somewhere else.
Yeah.
And not even that, some rules also, even the English ones, get interpreted differently in other communities. So but you have to be able to handle personalities if you want to help in Atlanta, if you want to head ref AOS Worlds, because there's a lot of personalities in all the teams. I mean, there's a lot of nationalities, and even different nationalities have different
cultures and habits, 100%. Which are normal maybe in their culture, but not in the other culture.
Yeah, but it also helps that I'm a bigger guy, because someone might give a smaller ref shit, but they won't maybe give me shit as fast. So that also helps, I think.
That's why I'm not judging, right?
No, but I definitely think that helps. So, but yeah, it's been a great journey going from in 3.5 years, I guess, maybe just about 4 years, going from never hosting an event to having done 3 worlds and 2 Atlantas.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
And that's what. So we're coming to the final question, Tom. Which hobby achievement you still have? So because there are pretty big buckets already on your list. So is there something more? Because for me, of course, there's one big thing missing, and this is a golden ticket and Atlanta. So I'm grinding now a little bit for it, because the last 2 years there were only 1 ticket in Germany to get, and it was only at the Raccoon Rumble, which is like, as I said, 200 people, so it's pretty hard to get it.
Yeah.
I don't say that it's easier at small events where more better players are
you cannot avoid anyone.
Yeah, but if you have 6 tournaments, maybe, for example, where you can go and have the chance, then the chance is higher as if you just go to 1 tournament. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
you played a team tournament this weekend. They didn't have a ticket yet, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. No.
So for people, Tristan won an event last weekend. So the German Club Championships, right?
Yeah, that's right. There was a German Club Championship, 22 teams, but just 5 people each, and 5 rounds with pairing and the normal team stuff. Different armies, not the same endless spells and stuff like that. And so when you are watching the battle report, I'm playing exactly this list where I get 81 out of 100 points. So I hope the list works, but
Maybe again this weekend, because you're playing the GT with it as well.
Of course. But I was pretty lucky with priorities, and as you know, followers, when you're playing Stormcast Eternals with long strikes and stuff like that, a double turn is always nice.
Yeah.
But we will see how that's going. But your achievement or your big hobby goal.
I guess I haven't played at Worlds or played in Atlanta yet, so those could be goals for me. I like to think I'm a decent player as well, not just an okay judge. So I think I could do well, but winning a tournament like that, especially
We had to draw. So of course you're a good player.
Yeah.
Ich? Sie? Nein, doch. Oh.
Exactly. Playing at Worlds, obviously you are also dependent on the nation you're with. But let's say Atlanta, it's whatever the format has changed a little bit over the years. It was 11 rounds or 12 rounds if you played the Shadow round last year.
Yeah.
And it was 8 rounds this year. If you play the top of your game for 8 rounds,
that's pretty exhausting.
Yeah, because even like Casper won this year, and he played fantastic. But even he had a couple of lucky moments where he won, for example, 3 prios in a row, and you need that to win.
You always have to be lucky.
Yeah, and then still be on point every turn.
Be on point, and of course, because I always discuss it with my hometown friends, because they say, "Oh, you saw? I think he's one of the best players. Why did he did this mistake?" I said, "Yeah, calm down. He's playing now for 9 hours, and of course you do a mistake with take their lands something." Yeah. Of course, normally you think you can't do mistakes like that, but it happens because we are all human, and
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So I think like playing one of those big tournaments myself could be a hobby goal, but I think I enjoy TOing just as much as I would playing. And maybe at some point maybe captain the Dutch team or something. That could be nice.
I think that's a good role for you.
Yeah, could be. Maybe.
Could be. Yeah. And for your YouTube channel, because I think this is like a big hobby baby, which you have. So what do you have a goal, or do you set up goals at the beginning of the year? For example, at the end of the year, I want to have subscribers or stuff like that.
Yeah, we thought about that, but we actually purposely didn't do that, and we just said whatever we do, quality first. Because we believe if everything you do is quality and consistency, the rest will follow.
Yeah.
And then maybe at some point, I think, you know, what I would love to do is do a weekly battle report, but, you know, with the, let's say, 10 hours of editing next to your day job, it's just like, you see it with Season of War, who I think does it almost full-time or full-time now, and he's able to do it, but yeah, you just have to edit every day.
Yeah.
And it has to... If you don't want to make it your job, it has to, you know, it has to stay fun.
Of course, yeah.
The workload.
Because the work is the same. If you get money for it, or if you don't get money for it, the work behind the scene doesn't change.
And YouTube will not make you a lot of money, well, unless you're Mr. Beast.
Yeah. Or if you have 1 million subscribers or 100 subscribers, the work is always the same, right?
Yeah, the pay won't be. But
the pay won't be. Yeah, but the work is the same.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. So we are coming to an end. Thank you very much, Tom, for your time. Coming. Yeah, thank you for having me here. I hope you guys liked it. It was now my first interview in English, and yeah, normally I'm a native German speaker, so I hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you like the content, subscribe to Tom's channel, Treshold Tactics, and leave a like and subscribe at my channel as well, because as I already said, there will coming more English videos this year, and I'm pretty excited for that. And leave comments, what was good, what was maybe not so good, what you liked, and yeah, have a great day. And the last words are from you, Tom.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Like you said, like and subscribe your channel, and pop over to our channel if you want to see some cool battle reports. And if you go to our website, thresholdtactics.com, you can also buy the tickets for our events, dice, merchandise. Yeah, objective markers, etc. So, yeah, we love if you watch our content, and if you like it, let us know, because it's super motivating. Same for you.
Yes, sir.
So let's do this again sometime, and we'll see you guys soon.
See you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.